Valentine's Day is coming up.
Hmm.
So a lot of debates about Valentine's Day, as always.
About
Today's
people, about the expectations people have.
yeah, it's always about people's expectations and people fighting each other. And
Yeah.
the thing about these debates is that all of it always comes back down to one thing, which is just do whatever makes you happy. And
But people don't know what makes them happy.
that's not good enough for people.
People don't know what makes them happy though, because they're a lot of people I feel like don't know themselves, or they don't know. Because to really figure out what makes you happy, you have to dig deep to realize what you want. I think a lot of people want what they think they want because other people want it. I think that's literally like it's just a circular argument. Like I think a lot of people really only want what they want because they saw someone else have it. They don't know what they really want.
The debate I've been seeing back and forth right now is about whether the male in a relationship. I haven't seen any like LGBTQ plus comments on it,
Yeah.
but for just heterosexual couples, that the man should ask women to be their Valentine, even if they've been in a relationship with them for like 45 years. You have the people that have the expectation that the man should do that every year, and then you have the expectation that on the other side that he doesn't have to do anything because if you're together or like you're married or something like that, like you don't have
It's
to
expected.
ask to be
Sorry.
the Valentine because like
That's what I
you're
just think
literally
it
married
depends
with
on what you
kids.
want,
Yeah,
right?
and that's what it all comes down
Because
to.
I don't want that. Like for me, like no offense, this might hurt people's feelings, but it's corny to me. Because like we're in a relationship, like you are my Valentine. I feel like asking somebody to be your Valentine's Day is your Valentine's. Is like middle school, high school type of. I don't know, right? Am I
That
like? Am I
that's
just
my
being? I'm not being
opinion.
a hater, but am I just being like too harsh?
That's my opinion on it. But one thing that I like don't like that people do is that it's not enough. And we've like brought up this concept multiple times. It's not enough for people to feel the way they feel about something. They like have to make somebody else feel the same way that they do.
Yeah,
The same way that people push religion on everybody.
yeah.
It's the same thing. So
So
it's
if you
not
don't
enough.
like it, then
If you don't like
it's
it, it's
oh he
not
don't love you, leave him. What?
like if you don't personally agree with like if somebody's in a relationship and you feel like the man shouldn't have to ask the woman to be the Valentine, it's not enough for people to just feel that way. They have to now make everybody else that wants that
Yeah,
feel that way. And that's
yeah.
basically the main
And the
debate that I've
internet's
been
full of
seeing
so
lately.
many impressionable people, so now they think that's what they want, and now that's a trend, like, right? Like, didn't you see like didn't is it just me or did it seem like this year was like an influx in people asking,
It seemed like an influx, especially
like it's
because
OD, right?
from what I've seen and what we've seen in real life is that people don't even get asked to be
Girlfriend and
good boy. Yeah.
boyfriend.
So
And you know what? I feel like this is like maybe this is a reach, but I feel like this is like a cop, not even a cop out, but it's almost like for people who want maybe that proposal, who want to get married, right? Like this is like their way of feeling that feeling, like because it's like there's less pressure on the man to ask a woman to be their Valentine than to ask them to be their wife. So I feel like for a lot of women, this is like replacing that feeling of like feeling like they're being proposed to, like they want that feeling,
definitely
and they're trying to find that feeling.
I think the whole thing with like the promposals and Valentines for like college and high school
Yeah, it's
age people
very
is probably more so that. But what I've also seen with this is that people in relationships or people that are married, like the woman still wants the guy to do those kind of things.
yeah, which I don't know. Everybody's different, right? Like everybody's different. For me, you know what? I never put credence on Valentine's Day before me and you were even in a relationship, right? Before I even was in a relationship in my life, I never put credence onto Valentine's Day. Like I grew up in a two-parent household, so I've got the flowers and the candy from my dad every year. And like that was just that. Like we celebrated the day, everybody like the day is a day of love, right? So we celebrated the day just loving each other. There was no pre like proposition that you had to ask because it was already expected. Like maybe it's just because of how I grew up, but it was just expected. That's like if you're that's your daughters. Like my dad has three daughters, so your daughters are gonna get the love that day from the man in the household and then my wife. Like it was no big to do. You had to ask before. Like I feel like when people do a lot of this grand gestures, it's very superficial to me. Like what's the relationship really like? You know what I mean? Like I don't know. People have like this correlation between grand gestures and real love. And I just feel like everybody's just trying to outgrand each other. Who's gonna have the best Valentine's Day proposition, whatever? Like to ask. Like it just seems like a competition. Who's gonna have the best vacation pictures? Who's gonna have the best wedding? Who's gonna have the best proposal? Who's gonna have the best prom proposal? Like everything's about these grand gestures. Who's gonna have the best hotel room with the flowers and the who's gonna have the most bags on the bed of gifts? It's like, where's the actual genuine love? Like why is everything such an image for people? And I feel like this is one of those things. It's like they have to show the world that they got asked to be a Valentine. Like, and like I'm not, I get it from this other sense of the people who actually genuinely like those things as like a love language. I can understand that, but I don't know. For me, an expectation for that every single year will seem old. Like I feel like this is fun and cool to people who are in short relationships, in my opinion. But when you've been with somebody like like us 9 years, right? And this would be our 10th Valentine's Day, which is crazy, right? It would be our 10th. Yeah, because Valentine's Day 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, 20. That's 10 Valentines. Like, asking me, can you imagine the redundancy of every year for 10 times?
But people want that.
I guess people want that. But a lot of people, I don't think they ever even got into the double digits in a relationship. So they don't even know if they would want that 10 years down the line, right? So like they think they want it now because people love and chase that newness of relationships, you know? And I feel like a lot of divorces happen. Or like people who get married so quick. Those honeymoon stages, like for people where everything's such a high, they cling to that. Like they love that. And like they're still so enveloped in that. And I can imagine that me and you were still maybe a year or two and I might be like, yeah, you're gonna ask me to be a Valentine's Day every year. But 10 years, like I think a lot of people don't get to this point. And to say they think that's what they're gonna want until they get to 10 years and it's like it's expected. Like duh, like you're my Valentine already. Like you shouldn't why you gotta ask me something that's already known we're in a relationship. But like you said, they probably never officially even got asked to be boyfriend and girlfriend. So
Yeah, no, I agree, but I'm
and
I'm
sick,
still
guys, so
falling back
sorry.
on the you know, do whatever works for you, and it's
Yeah,
also one of
this
those
is my
things.
opinion on like me, like and what I think some people cop out. But
It's also one of those things where I had to learn to not judge women that chase men just for money, because or like really why anybody chases anybody for anything, because it's like go ahead get what you want. Like I'm not gonna judge you for it.
yeah,
I personally don't agree with it, but at the same time, mostly what I wanted to bring up is just like why do we fight each other on the internet over
differing opinions
yeah.
because people are. That's the funny part. Everybody loves to be like narcissistic, egotistical. They love to throw those words out right about people, right? Mostly women talking about men. But when you watch their arguments that they're having amongst each other, it's very egotistical and narcissistic, like my way or the highway. Like I give my opinions on this podcast, but I respect everybody's differing opinions. Like I can respect and understand people who want that, right? Like I get it. Like that's just how some people view love. Like that's in their they like grand gestures. That's their love language, and that's fine. That's you, and this is me. We could both agree to disagree and still respect each other's differing opinions. Like, and that's why in life you just align with people who align with you. If you have a man that loves doing grand gestures and you're a woman that loves grand gestures, there you go. So like I feel like people got to understand that like just because that's what works for your relationship, that's not what works for mine. Like find your match, find who you're compatible with. Don't try to change somebody, like, or don't try to change yourself for somebody. Just find your person, and then there should be no arguing in the base. Like, oh, your man, he's just that, he's just this, he don't love you, he just must be broke. What? Like that's when people start losing me, cause like that's such a crazy narcissistic way to feel that is your way, your opinion out of 8 billion opinions on this world, you think is correct.
Yeah,
It's just
we're definitely
lame.
going to see a lot of the usual, but of course every year is going to become more and more amplified the more other people get money, so it's going to
Yeah,
become that whole wealth gap is definitely going to divide, because so much of what dictates what us regular folk do is what the rich and wealthy people do. So they're going to ball out for Valentine's Day,
yeah.
and
That's another thing too. Like everybody has their money and do what you want with your money. But like I said, we're talking about our opinion. Like I just feel like it's just funny how we as people feed so much into these man-made holidays. Like we're giving the money that the people who create these holidays are looking for. Like if people always want to like complain about the government, oh taxes, inflation, but then they feed into these holidays like
that are
that
causing these things too.
that the capitalist society has capitalized off of. Like you guys are literally big hypocrites. like, you know, we like to do a little dinner every year, right? Like we still like to celebrate the day, right? But like I wouldn't even be opposed to just doing a cute dinner at home one of these years. Like
I
we've
don't
been
like celebrating the day.
like, yeah, cause realistically, like it's a day of love. Like you could celebrate that at home amongst each other, but everybody has like their different forms of love, right? And everybody, like, you know, not everybody's impacted by the economy, right? People got money to do whatever, and I put us in that bracket. Like we're financially stable. Like it doesn't kill our pockets to go out on a dinner. We go out to dinner on a random Saturday.
I'm
Like
rich.
we're not rich, but definitely up there.
I'm
We're
definitely
not
rich.
rich. We're not rich.
I'm rich, y'all.
I would say we're
Quiet
up.
as kept.
Would you consider our salary? Are we considered middle class combined still, or upper middle? Our
Well, I can
combined,
speak for myself.
our combined income.
I,
I feel like we're.
I,
Let's,
based on what I make,
let's see what's up there. Middle
my
class.
thing is I go based off statistics, so I don't do the classification of rich, wealthy, middle class, lower class. Even though I was an economics major and that was a big factor in it, I don't like doing the labels
Wait, sorry, we're above upper middle class. How is that possible?
because most of the country doesn't make a lot of money.
We're considered upper class.
I
Your
just
salary
go
alone is like upper class.
yeah, I go based
What?
off of statistics, and it's not so much to compare myself to other people, but it's more so just as a gauge of the value that I bring to companies and stuff like that. So I kind of just use it as a way to track, but I'll never use any of those classifications to like make myself feel better
And
about
remember, we
myself
also
either.
talked about this too. Like, everything's by state. That's the U.S.
Yeah, that's the
In New
U.S.
Jersey, I don't know if we're.
Yeah,
If
in New
we're
Jersey, not. But for my age,
New Jersey's money is high.
for my age, I think I'm top 8, 7, 8. I'm definitely top 10. But how deep into that top 10, I forget how close I get. It's between 10 and 5, top 10 and 5% of earners in my age group, and that's including like athletes and all that other stuff. But anyway, yeah, we'll see. You know, the usual
No,
people balling out, hotel
yeah,
rooms, and
that's what I was saying. I was saying
all that
we
kind
brought
of
our money
stuff.
up to say, like, it's not like we're speaking from a place that we can't afford to do these things. Like that's the point. We do these things on our own whenever we want.
Yeah,
We don't
and that's
just
where it's
we're not
like,
following a capitalist. These obviously these holidays came way beyond when our structure was created in this country, right? But we live in a country and a world that's capitalized off these holidays. Like you go into the stores right after Christmas over, you see the Valentine's Day stuff all in the stores. Like they're looking for your money, and they get it from you guys every year. Like that's the funny part. People complain about the government every freaking day, but then now they're in a competition about who has the best Valentine's Day proposal, who has the best hotel room decorated. Like you guys are literally feeding right into the trap, and it's just funny to me because it's like I don't know. You know when people be like, it's funny because people kind of like to clown people that say there's like, oh, Valentine's Day is every day. They're like, sometimes people like to clown that, but realistically, like I just live on my own times. Like the way our love is, like we live the life that we want to live all the time. Like we don't wait for no special day to do special things for each other. Like we go out all the time and we have a good time all the time. So I just find it funny how people do feed it right into the trap.
yeah.
And these corporations are monopolizing. Like they see it, and they're probably like, "Oh, we doing Valentine's Day proposals now? Or they're gonna make the most creative way now to propose somebody for Valentine's Day, and they're gonna make a product for people to buy."
Really, at the end of the day, and it's applicable to basically everything. If you want to do it that way, do it that way. If you don't want to do it that way, don't do it that way. And both parties just shut the fuck up about
Yeah.
it.
Just
And
do what works
just
for your
do what works
relationship.
for you, and don't bash other people for doing things that works in their relationship, or for other people having a preference that stands outside of yours.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm not bashing people, right? Like when I'm speaking, it might come across that way. I just have very strong opinions on things. And it's not necessarily a bashing. Like the thing is, I don't bash the people who have genuine intentions, and I think that's like my stance on my bashing, right? I don't bash people who are genuinely into those things. Like even there's people who probably have nice Valentine's Day like proposals that didn't even post nothing. I'm not bashing those people because they clearly are genuinely doing it for themselves and their relationship. I'm bashing the people who are doing it because they're seeing other people doing it. They're putting pressure on their boyfriends because other women are doing it, and that's what they think they want, but they don't even want that. And their boyfriend already is showing them love in so many different ways, but now it's not good enough because they want the Louis bag on the bed. But so that now you're making your man feel bad and emotionally abusing him, right? Because you're not getting something that you think that you want because you see the next woman getting it. That's the people I bash. The sheep, and the people who are trying to be in competition, who are only posting these things because they want to have this image and not because they genuinely want these things or care about these things. That's the people I'm bashing. But the people, there's people out there who don't even got a freaking social media, who live this life for real, and they love the grand gestures, and the man loves doing the grand gestures. Those are the people I'm gonna respect, because that's them. They living in their truth. They living the life that they want to live. They're not living for the internet. They're not trying to be in competition. They're not with somebody that maybe they're not compatible with, or they're not bird brain. They know themselves. They know what they want. They don't want something because they see enough someone else getting it. So I bash sheep. That's really, I bash sheep. Anytime I'm bashing people who are just going with the grain, sheep people, And then the ignorant ones who then now get on the internet, and now it's your man don't love you, or your man's broke. It's like, all right, sure. If you say so.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
But then again, these are the same people that are gassed over 50 floor eating hibachi. I seen a tweet where some guy said that we haven't even ate hibachi on the first floor, and I'm like, since when is hibachi luxury? Someone please let me know when that became a luxury. Like, hibachi was a random Thursday night dinner in the Sparks family home. So
hibachi no different than Panda Express to me.
No, for real. All they doing is just grilling it in front of you and pinning oil on and making flames, and so everybody could be like, ooh. Yeah. So that's sometimes you gotta realize, that's the people that you're arguing with on the internet. It's people who think hibachi is high end, because this guy really said you guys aren't even sitting on the first floor eating hibachi. I'm like, yeah, we are. There's a hibachi place down the street. Yeah, we are.
What does that? Wait, what does that mean? You're sitting.
Because the lyric, that guy's song that's going viral, Tia Kemp, right? He said 50th floor eating hibachi, like, he's with a baddie on the 50th floor eating hibachi. Yeah. He's like, this guy tweeted.
Oh,
he was
he's
like,
saying, okay,
you guys are tweeting 50th floor eating hibachi, and he's like, you're not even on the first floor.
Okay.
And everybody's like, hibachi's $15.
Yeah.
So these are the people we arguing with. That's why sometimes I'm like, let me just sit back, because you guys aren't used to nothing. Like, maybe it's because of how we grew up.
Yeah,
like,
no, hibachi
was a random Thursday night dinner.
It's just a preparation style.
It
doesn't make it anything different. Although the hibachi rice is good. I like
hibachi rice is really good, but it's not like a luxury experience. Like, nobody. I mean,
you're not
at least not we in it. Didn't get all dressed up to go to eat hibachi.
You thought he was eating Louis Vuitton rice.
So that's why sometimes, like, I gotta realize, I'm like, right, these are the people that they were arguing with on the internet, and just sometimes you gotta just sit back.
Yeah.